This shit is getting crazy. Like, y'all thought it was bad yesterday? Well, you could say it's heating up.
Indonesia has seen another day of anti-government protests. They're being fueled by the death of a 21-year-old motorcycle driver who was killed when a police armored vehicle ran him over at the site of a demonstration in the capital. In central Jakarta, rioters set fire to a 5-story building near police headquarters, while others torched vehicles and attacked government offices. Demonstrators are angry about what they call lavish perks for lawmakers, rising living costs, and the lack of jobs.
It's only going to get worse because a lot of these developing countries relied on manufacturing jobs from first world countries. And now those manufacturing jobs are getting edged out by automatic machinery. Yeah, this is just going to keep getting worse.
President Subianto has appealed for calm and promised a full investigation.
Gasping for air from tear gas. Paramedics are rushing to get this protester in Jakarta.
It seems to me like this person getting run over, this was like a flashpoint, but it wasn't really the beginning point. It seems like these people have been unhappy for quite a while.
These protests have spiraled out of control. But they started as largely peaceful demonstrations against low wages and lavish perks for lawmakers.
Who pays their electricity bills? Who pays their taxes? We do.
Yeah. That's true.
Within moments, it all turned to mayhem. Bloodied faces and injured bodies strewn across the streets of the Indonesian capital. Protesters set buildings on fire.
God damn, what the fuck?
The police responded with tear gas. And
bro, like, this is insane. Even comparing this to LA, like LA was nothing compared to this. Like this is a this is a countrywide crash. It's a national crash out. It's a lot. Police are cooked, yeah.
Water cannons. A desperate attempt to calm the unrest. Then came the moment that shocked the nation. An armored police vehicle like this one plowed into a 21-year-old delivery driver, Afan Kurniawan.
Shouldn't have done that.
He wasn't even part of the demonstration, just doing his job when he was hit and run over.
Man, that's sad.
This is his funeral.
Their GDP is fake. I think really the problem is that a lot of these countries don't really have any... Like, a lot of their economies are built around other countries giving them money for, like, services. And once that goes away and those countries aren't needing that anymore, then you have the entire economic structure of that area fall apart. Because they don't, like, how do they make money? How are these people going to live these lives whenever they're not being given money but from these other countries? You see what I'm saying? A lot of countries operate this way. They do. And I don't know what's going to happen with something like this either. It topples quickly. Yeah.
Jakartans mourning not just a young man, but a tragedy that has deepened the unrest.
Yeah.
We are very disappointed in all law enforcement agencies, especially the police chief. Please pay attention to this. These drivers are also human. We demand justice for Afan. Those responsible for running him over must be tried fairly and dismissed from their jobs.
Afan's death has ignited national outrage, forcing even the president to break his silence.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right, make a compilation. Yeah, never understood people say something like that with no level to back it up. Indonesia's vast-growing economy with low level of unemployment. The issue of the wealthy getting excessive privileges and abuse of power from the government. Well, I mean, I feel like it's definitely, I mean, like, they have the same problem. What I find to be really interesting about this is that I think this is the reason, like, if you look at a country like this, this is probably one of the reasons why America has such a strong two-party system. It's so they avoid having nationwide crash outs like Indonesia's having. Because really, whatever privileges that the people in the Indonesia parliament are having, I bet the people in America's fucking House of Representatives and Senate have even more. So why is it that nobody here is doing the same thing? Well, it's because people are so divided here. And that's, I think, one of the biggest differences is that if you look at the beginning of this video, they said these are anti-government protests. And I think that's one of the big differences between this and what happens in the U.S. is that in the U.S., it's always based off of a political party. You almost never have a protest that is against the government collectively. The closest thing that we had to that was maybe Jeffrey Epstein, and not even that really mattered because people politicized that and they turned it into a partisan issue as well. Your system does that by design. Well, I know that, and it's working as intended. That's my whole point.
Shocked and disappointed by the officers' excessive actions. I have ordered that last night's incident be thoroughly and transparently investigated, and that the officers involved be held accountable.
That's the best you can do.
Anger had been building since President Prabowo took office last year.
The fucking, bro, the One Piece shit is actually real. Like, I remember whenever people were telling me about this yesterday, and I was like, oh, there's no way that's real. But apparently it is, yeah. Is that a good thing in your opinion? I think that it is a bad thing. I think that American politics would be better. Like, basically, this is my conspiracy brain opinion, is that I think that after Occupy Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street was the last concerted, class-based revolt against the ruling political and economic class in America. And obviously it didn't really go anywhere, but I think that after that, there has been a deliberate and an intentional effort made to poison pill any type of economic socialism or any type of economic distribution of wealth or economic responsibility that wealthy people have. And they poison pill the groups of people that are advocating for it with identity politics. And so nobody wants to hear or give a fuck about what somebody's saying about wealth inequality when they keep talking about why kids should be able to transition at age 7. That's the problem. So it's like an instant poison pill that prevents any sort of homogeny and a homogenous pushback against really a ruling class of elite people that are making all of the money. If you didn't know this, like all of the stock market, 90-something percent, 91% of the stock market gains that happened ever since the recovery from COVID were enjoyed by the top 1% of the population. So just so you understand that, 1% of the population made 91% of the money on the stock market following the stock market going back up. And that's the reason, by the way, that the stock market going back up doesn't mean anything to you because your groceries are still fucking expensive. That's the reason. That's the reason. And oh, wow, look at the GDP, the fucking stock market, all this stuff is really high. Yeah, well, who gives a fuck about that? You can't buy food. You can't afford steaks anymore. What the hell is this? And so the problem is that people look at these artificial indicators of the economy that are created and constructed to intentionally obfuscate the average person's lived reality. And the problem now is that I think this is being done intentionally. I think the Democratic Party for a very long time was they were trying to fight against that in a lot of cases. Like I used to be a very strong Democrat. I wouldn't really say that I am anymore. I wouldn't identify as a Democrat at all. Like I think that I have primarily liberal views, but I would never say I'm a Democrat. The point is, though, is that after Occupy Wall Street and the movement and the motion that caused, I think that they definitely infested and polluted those class-based arguments with, with identity politics. And I also think, to a lesser extent, that's the same reason why the media tries to demonize Trump. Even though Trump does do things for rich people, and he is obviously operating in the best interest of rich people, he is a rich person, I think that Trump represents a economic, a form of some degree of economic socialism that many right-wing people actually have. And I think that's shifted primarily and in a massive way. And so they keep people divided, but they don't want to see that movement get any farther. Because at the end of the day, he's not part of that same type of movement and messaging. Massive corruption. Yeah, example. An example is illegal immigration. I think that's a great example. So, like, you can look at illegal immigration. Illegal immigration used to be a Democrat issue where a lot of Democrats, and you can just go back and look this up for yourself, every Democrat nowadays that's calling Trump a Nazi for deporting illegal immigrants was saying the same thing that Trump was saying in 1997. So the reality is that for a lot of these politicians, many of them were advocating for this, but they have been co-opted and they've been compromised by big business to operate in the best interest of those companies. That's the reason why. And so even up to 2012, yeah, I think so. Who benefits from immigration? So the people who benefit primarily from immigration are companies. Companies benefit primarily from immigration because they're the ones that, number one, they add more people into the economy, which can increase their target audience of people that they can sell to. And number two, more importantly, they get cheap labor. And they get cheap labor that's under the table. Like, in my opinion, every time that they have an illegal immigrant raid at one of these companies, the people that run the company need to go to jail. Well, they need to be investigated, and through court discovery, if it's found that they know that they were employing illegal aliens, I think they should be charged and put in jail for human trafficking. Like, that's what I would do. Anybody who was aware of this up and down the line, I would just put them in jail. And that's, but nobody talks about that. And isn't it interesting that nobody on either side really is talking about that? It is a very fringe opinion for what I'm saying here. Nobody all of the left-wing people are talking about how racist and, they hate brown people. Like, no. Like, we want to put if theoretically you want to put the white people that hired them in jail and that are exploiting them. How interesting, exactly. So this is the reason why I think, and I'm going off on a big tangent, and I apologize, but the reason why I'm doing it is I'm trying to paint a picture of the reason why I think the U.S. has been occupied by these special interest groups and by primarily big money. Big money has a vested financial interest in keeping Americans divided with identity politics so they don't have something like this happen and unite against the parliament or against a business ruling class. That's it. Trump used the fake emergency powers for a war that was never happening to place a blanket sales tax on us without having to pass a bill or get votes due to Saltwater. I don't know about that. I mean, like, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I'd have to look at the tax and see what it is. But my point is that, that's the reason why I think it can happen somewhere over there. And that's the reason why I think American politics are the way that they are. And again, at the very beginning, when was the last time that you ever heard of an American anti-government protest that wasn't just maybe a couple of like Antifa retards? Never. Because both parties are created as controlled opposition to each other in order to maintain the status quo.
Stoked by lawmakers pocketing allowances.
January 6th? No, that was just right-wing people mad that they lost the election. That's it.
Times the average Indonesian minimum wage. Now, 7 officers are in custody. But the driver who killed Afan...
The No Kings protest? No, the No Kings protest was an anti-Trump protest that was accusing him of being a king. Why would people use such bad examples of this?
Still remains unknown. In Jakarta, one young man's death has become the symbol of a nation's fury. And that fury is still burning.
Yep.
Let's go to Jakarta now and talk to our correspondent, Ferdinand Hemawan. Ferdinand, how is the situation there this morning?
Damn, they're still naming each other Ferdinand over there? I never met somebody named Ferdinand in my life.
When I drive through the streets today, this morning, from my home to the studio, I can see that there are some public facilities have been burned down during the protests, such as the bus stops, the toll gates, several police stations, and several police vehicles has been burnt down.
Listen to what he's saying, too. Everything, and I'm sure that there is wanton violence and looting that happens, and it's bad whenever it happens anywhere. But the primary victims and the primary things that were being destroyed by these protesters are government buildings. It's not like BLM where they burn down an AutoZone and loot a Gucci store. That's a huge fucking difference.
In the streets. And the major toll roads in Jakarta is also still closed, and the people are still cleaning up after the protest. But and Jakarta is not the only place that the protest was happening. It was happening also in other big cities in Indonesia, such as Makassar, Solo, and stuff. But I can say that for now, the situation is getting more conducive, and hopefully it can get more conducive and not escalate even more from now on.
Ferdinand,
if they want to de-escalate it, they got to put the guy that ran the person over in jail. They got to say they're going to put him in jail. Like that, and I don't even think that's going to be enough. I think that would just maybe hopefully stop things getting burned down.
Protests erupted after a motorcycle taxi driver was killed by a police vehicle. Then there was the wider demonstrations that expressed a kind of public discontent.
It says, stop it, Zach. Your bigotry blinds you to the truth. No level of immigration hurts the economy the way endless wars do. Blaming and throwing poor people under the bus is just a button to distract you blind, like it does for most right-wingers. Sadly, that's the ransom you've accepted. If no level of immigration doesn't hurt the economy, then why are all the immigrants coming from economies that are hurting? Number one. Number two, you're right. I don't think we should have endless wars either. It's possible to be anti-illegal migration and illegal immigration and also anti-war. I know this might sound crazy, but it's possible to have both of these opinions. And I think that, by the way, most people believe that. Ban them. Your bigotry blinds you to the truth. Yeah, that's a that's a ban.
Tell us more about what the protesters want or what they're protesting against.
Yeah, that's correct. The death of the motorcycle taxi driver was the trigger that made this protest reach its peak. But the initial focus of this protest was because the bad economic situation in the country that was created by the bad economic policy from the government. The government kept increasing the tax, the living cost is increasing, but the people's economic situation is hard. They are facing mass layoff, they are facing low wages, and the unemployment rate is getting higher. And on the other hand, when they are facing that, they heard that the MPs got a fantastic salary and increased house benefit that is 10 times bigger than the minimum wage in Jakarta. That makes the people angry. But what?
Yeah, I mean, it's a let them eat cake moment. I mean, obviously, this is the same thing that's happened all over the world, like historically, where people have gotten furious at, these rich people that are giving each other massive amounts of money. And, the people that are actually living in the country aren't making anything. They aren't making shit. 6K is like 600K in the US. Yeah, I know. And look at how much money Nancy Pelosi's worth. That's the difference. For 10x over here is a joke. People are 100 and 300xing here.
The people really angry is the response from one of the MPs that are mocking the protesters that are protesting against the fantastic salary of the MPs. So what we saw in the past 2 days, that is how the public expressing.
And somebody says, again, I just want to make sure that, let me see if I can find it here. And there's a comment that somebody made, and I want to see if I can pull it up. Yeah. So this is a comment. I apologize. There's a lot of people that like to do this. You have been contradicted. Of course, you say Pelosi and not rich-wing people. I understand what you're trying to say. You're saying rich right-wing people. The reason why I use Nancy Pelosi as an example is because Nancy Pelosi is a good example. You have been captured by the same partisan politics that prevents you from being able to have any sort of solidarity with people that share your viewpoints. That's the real reason. You are the example. Like, whenever I said that America has been occupied and they've been controlled by people that are, like, basically psyoping them into thinking that, you think Nancy Pelosi's on your side? What are you, fucking retarded? She's worth $250 million? Yeah, and this is the problem that people like this have. is it like you're out here counting points? It's embarrassing.
Their frustration towards the government and the elites in this country.
At the same time, after the death of this motorcycle driver, we saw that President Subianto apologized. Did those actions appear to be calming the situation?
Doesn't seem like it.
Actually, in the statement, President Prabowo Subianto didn't say sorry to the people. Didn't apologize. Say sorry to the people. They just.
Why would you not do that? That's stupid.
Condolences to the death motorcycle taxi driver, but it seems like that the government still insensitive to the people's condition, and this situation can be de-escalate only if the government really listens and also have the empathy to the people to really give what they want and really just talk to them. That kind of action
they're gonna burn this
can
shit
really
down.
de-escalate the tension in Jakarta and also in Indonesia.
All right, that's DW's Ferdinand Hemawan in Jakarta talking about those protests. Ferdinand, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is really, really bad. Illegal immigration isn't as big of an issue as the media makes it out to be, if anything. And if anything, it helps so much. Don't believe me, I can send you a link of a very good video with zero bullshit, good arguments, and sources. I don't need to look at a study to realize that having a bunch of uneducated people that don't speak my language coming into my country to do, in most cases, almost all cases, completely fucking unskilled labor. I don't need a study to tell me that I'm wrong about that. It's obvious that that's bad. People constantly going, but if you look at this study shows... The study in a lot of cases, by the way, a lot of these studies that they do are deliberately misleading. They are deliberately misleading, and they create false narratives based off of the way the data is collected. They don't look at second-order effects. They look at things inside of a vacuum. They analyze it in a very narrow way, and they draw a conclusion to the entire outcome. That's it. You can lie in studies. Yes, we're not. Do you people have a study? Oh, there's a study about this. It says there's a study about this. I don't need to hear about that. Absolutely not. Nope. So very bad data. Yeah, absolutely. What's happening now in Indonesia and also happening in the Philippines. I'll see if there's any new information about this. But yeah, I think that it's very, like, I'm glad to see more people that are pushing back against the government, you know, making huge amounts of fucking money, doing all of this stuff. Yeah, I mean, look at this. This is fucking insane, man. This is out of a Call of Duty or something like that. I don't even know what people are saying here. Most of the illegals in your country do the work you don't want to do. Isn't it an agriculture branch that's collapsing in the U.S. now? Yeah, but I don't think that the solution to, so like the solution to Americans not wanting to be, basically like farm laborers or crop laborers is not to import a bunch of people to do that job for them. Like, it's just simply not, that's not the way that I would solve the problem. I think it's a bad way of solving the problem. It's just that simple. Photography's nice though. Yeah, you're right about that. Oh, and this is from yesterday. Holy shit. Look at this. Or from earlier, I guess, at night. God damn. This is like a GoPro or something? Look at this. Stupidest thing I've heard. Yeah. They got field of view real high? Yeah, exactly. They're shooting back. Man. Holy shit. They looted a lawmaker's house? I'm not surprised. Indonesian always joking about these to 50, just corrupt 50%, give the people the other 50%. Yeah, it seems like that's not it. Burning houses is not going to make the situation better. I think that people are just, whenever people feel like there isn't a democratic alternative and a way to solve this problem democratically because they think that the people doing it are corrupt, I think that's really the issue. Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, let's see here. Thought for America infiltrating Greenland? Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think so. And yeah, I had no idea. I think you nailed it with your point about distracting the public. Immigration is another huge distraction. Historically, when other countries start to fail, the powerful always distract us by saying, just blame the new guy. I think that there are two things that are true. Immigration is a problem, and there are also a lot of other problems too. I don't think that these are mutually exclusive things, that every single problem is because of immigration. I don't think that's true at all. Like, that's not it in any capacity. Jesus Christ, look at the volume on this. Let's turn it down. It's kind of weird when they write in America, but when it's overseas, I don't mind. Well, that's because overseas, they don't have the same type of diplomatic process that we do. And that's one of the big differences that a lot of people don't really understand, is that in a lot of these countries, like especially like even in Europe, right? Like certain types of political speech isn't allowed. You know, some of these countries don't have democratic processes. I mean, Indonesia does. But I'm just saying, like, in a general sense, that's the reason why. And so, like, whenever you see an American protest that's about, like, saving illegal aliens, I think that it's very different than when you're watching a protest here that's about, like, a blanket government, like, government corruption. That's the big difference. You need to pinpoint exactly where a phase shift occurs where it's justified to violently oppose state power. I mean, not really. I mean, something like that is so specific. It's hard to say. Yeah, holy fucking shit. They're also protesting with their flag. Yeah. Well, that's how you know it's not in America. You can see, like, Indonesian flags. Jesus. Yeah, look at all this. Oh my God. Jesus, it's a Poland flag upside down. I don't know about that. But, yeah, anyway, yeah, processing and police brutality. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty fucking... God damn. God fucking damn. Okay, give me a second. I gotta use the bathroom. Doing what kind of... England's protesting right now? Yeah, I think that... Well, I mean, England is a great example, right? Where, like, people in England aren't really being represented in the way that they think that they should be, right? And I think that's a good example. And especially whenever you don't have freedom of speech. Because you don't have freedom of speech, what else are you gonna do? Let's see if there's any more of these. Holy shit. Look at all that. God damn. Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah. Oh, it's blurred out. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, people can't afford shit. $3,000. Yeah, they're being harsh too.
There was
oh my God.
In August, another one in May, and all of those demonstrations faced excessive and unnecessary use of force by the police forces.
I wonder why.
Tear gas was used improperly, water cannons, beatings. So I think when people are seeing with their own eyes a motorcyclist being trampled by a police vehicle, that is just the trigger.
Yeah, it's a flashpoint for sure. Look at the book in the background. I didn't even see it. Yep. Workers in low-wage jobs. Why am I not surprised?
Gua jujur, pajak gua bayar semua. Sementara orang-orang yang di dalam gedung DPR tidak sama sekali mendengar.
It's pretty simple. When you keep playing a game, you can't win. You stop playing the game. Yeah, I think that's about it. And I feel like really this is what's happening in a lot of countries.
Keluhan rakyatnya sendiri. Itu yang bikin gua
absolutely
cukup prihatin.
Pemerintah akan menjamin
a promised action. Surely they're going to do something about this. Man, I'm just coming in. Where's it taking place? It's in Indonesia. And yeah, a lot of this has just been like a total fucking meltdown, right? I mean, people have been losing their fucking mind. Demonstrators have used tear gas belonging to the police. It's fantastic. Yeah, people are fighting back a lot. And this is the high taxes. Yeah. Yep. Jesus, look at all that food. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is insane. Look at this. Yeah, it's a PvP. Yes, what the fuck? Holy fuck, bro. I know. Oh my fucking god. All those women officers? I mean, I think a lot of them, yeah. Man, that's a lot. Do you think this is okay? I don't know. I mean, obviously, like, it's not good to throw food at people like that. I mean, it's not great to do. But, you know, again, I think that the way that I judge what happens in America and how people act in America is different than the way that I judge what happens in other countries, because their laws are different and the way people can express themselves is different. So that's really the difference for me, right? I mean, so I know some people might not understand that, but that's at least what I see.